What do you think this place was for?
What the hell? Are they asleep?
No. They appear to be well preserved. However, they are all dead.
Dead? So this is a mass grave?
Looks that way. However, none of them appear to be Helganquil.
Bear in mind that Renans were originally Danans, who were remade and sent to live on Lenegus. Knowing that, they would have needed a place to perform the procedure somewhere.
And that place is here, I assume.
So what you're saying is that all of these are Danan, or rather, Renan bodies?
Most likely, yes. It must have been abandoned for one reason or another.
There are so many of them. They were all taken away, but never given the chance to wake.
What is that thing?
Something we have to fight if we want to get across, it seems.
Be careful! It's huge!
What is with all the huge lumbering beasts lately?
It's no ordinary beast. That much is damn sure.
Watch yourself. All bets are off when it comes to this thing.
Can you take it?
Not today! I'm not done!
Be careful not to overdo it.
I'm sorry. I'll do better.
Its head is weak point?
We'll need to bring it down somehow to hit it.
In that case, let's start with the one in the middle.
Here with the other.
In a bind? Armor won't save you!
Glacial spear.
Far enough!
You're mine!
Shine!
Far beyond the darkest skies.
Demon Tank! I owe you one.
I'm in your debt, Dohuli. Then tonight's meal is on you.
Mine!
You've got me.
You get the gist. Air thrust. You get the gist. Air thrust. Blah blah blah. Air thrust. Blah blah blah. Air thrust. Oh,
Shattering of pieces!
you get the gist. Meteor storm.
Explosive ring!
You get the gist. Air thrust. Where are you going?
Soaring blast!
Swallow blade!
Breath of life!
Leave the chargers to me!
Can't get out of this!
You get the gist. Nail thrust. Blah blah blah. Air thrust. Blah blah blah. You get the gist. Meteor storm. Here's a healing art.
Burn in hell!
Go get him! Oh, sparkling stars of light! Rain down!
Denied!
Blah, blah, blah! Air thrust! You get the gist! Air thrust! Blah, blah, blah! Air thrust! Blah, blah, blah! Maelstrom!
Simply incredible.
Blah, blah, blah! Maelstrom! You get the gist! Maelstrom! Oh, sparkling! Blah, blah, blah! Meteor storm! This one's mine!
Incineration wave! Burn in hell!
Dance in the wind! Here's a
get out of this! You're mine! They smite with blackened
Dance in
blade!
the wind!
Take to it!
Air, they're not playing around!
picked the wrong
Oh,
fight!
sparkling stars of light! Rain down and purify all!
Dazzle! Air pressure! Ripping you apart!
Meteor storm!
Bloody holiday! Right away!
Blah, 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 magic!
Fire up!
Pierce the
Heal my
evil!
weary companion!
It's
Radiant light!
You get the gist. Air drop! Blah, blah, blah. Air drop! You get the gist. Air drop! I never fit. Blah, blah, blah. Air drop! Blah, blah, blah. Nail drop! You get the gist. Nail drop! I can't
get out of this!
Meteor storm!
Radiant light! Pulse of regeneration!
Annihilation!
Allow me to help!
Oh, sparkling stars!
Ready and raring!
I will
Fade
use
into
all the power of
rending
my
you
healing
apart.
arts to accomplish this.
Bloody howling! On your butt!
Resurrection! Meteor storm! Dance in the wind! Air thrust! Hammy! Flame of fury! Blah, blah, blah! Air thrust! Leave your torch to me! Spread! Glacial spear! Pierce evil!
Piss off! Demon burn in hell!
Let me help! Far enough! First aid! Dance in the wind! Air thrust! Dance in the wind! Take care of Hoodle.
You'll pay for that!
I'll bring you
Double
back from
Demon
death to
Fang.
this.
Shattering pieces!
Here, let me help.
Resonate with the
You've been
earth!
smart.
Stalagmite! Rending you
Air
apart! Armor won't save you!
Lunar corruption!
Air howling! Rising Wyvern!
I never fit. Sparkling stars of light. Rain down and purify all. I'm almost impressed. Hold on
High
to your
praise
heart.
coming from you.
Here I come. I said almost. Don't get carried away. You get the gist. Not on my watch.
Now or never!
Air drop. Blah, blah, blah. Air drop. You get the gist. Air thrust. Blah, blah, blah. Air thrust.
In a
Blah,
bind?
blah, blah.
I'll smash you! Dragon
Finish
form!
without a trace.
Try this! I'll face you!
Dance in the wind. Air thrust. Dance in the wind. Air thrust. Magic is there. Air thrust. You get the gist. Air thrust. Blah, blah, blah.
Soaring breath!
Nail drop. Portal. Oh, spark. Blah, blah, blah. Meteor storm. The enemy is going all out.
Take this! Take this! Look sharp! You!
Tiger blade. Dance in the Martian handle this. Dance in the wind. Air thrust.
Finish it! Out it! In an instant! Impact clock!
The hell was that thing?
Probably something that was made here and somehow managed to survive, even after all this time. Not that there's any way of knowing now.
What's wrong?
Oh, I just suddenly found myself contemplating what might have happened to the sovereigns that were meant to emerge from the crown contests. What do you mean? You see, the winners of the past crown contests were all strong astral arts practitioners. Furthermore, that enemy we just fought appeared to be composed of several human bodies. It was certainly nothing one would find in nature.
You're saying those were the remains of the winners? That they forgot who they once were?
I'm merely saying it's a possibility.
That's absolutely gruesome. How long had the Helganquil been at this?
It was Rena's great spirit that made them do all of this. Anything to get its astral energy.
We're not gonna jump down, right?
I certainly hope not.
After hearing Dohalim's suggestion, I'm honestly not sure what to say.
I assure you all, I was
So, looks like the Helganquil have been engineering Zeugles too. Why doesn't that surprise me at this point?
The creatures we've been encountering here have been a little different to what we're used to fighting, but I'm pretty sure they're Zeugles too.
Do you think they were engineered using creatures native to the area?
Indeed. However, based on the current circumstances, I would guess these Zeugles are all that's left of the planet's fauna now.
You mean, there might have been native owl species here once upon a time too?
we're back in that other room? Did the teleporter fail or something?
Something feels off about it.
Look! Everything's upside down!
The furnishings are, at least. No, you're right. The whole room's flipped on its head.
So what was once down is now up, and vice versa. I suppose the teleporter reversed our orientation then.
Judging by the stench, I'd say the animals at the ranch are all grown now. Hey, look! We've got way more animals!
I never imagined Law would have a knack for husbandry.
Makes sense since they're on the same wavelength.
You're making me blush over here.
Law, maybe you should consider what that statement actually means.
I'm exhausted.
Dohalim, care if I hang out for a while?
Would you perchance be interested in going on a walk together?
Why? You're not on guard duty for another few hours.
Which is why I want to walk. To hear the music in these parts.
Music? Where are you going to find musicians all the way out here?
There's more to music than what people play. It's in the grass, fluttering in the wind, the leaves in the trees, and the songs of birds and insects. Once you open your ears, you'll find that music is truly everywhere in this world.
What sounds like music depends on who's listening, huh? It's an interesting idea, but I think it might be a little too difficult for me. Speaking of music, whatever happened to your instruments? You used to be a musician, didn't you?
Those are well out of my reach at this point. That aside, I don't feel that I yet have the right to play any of them again. You could say that it is in part, My way of atoning for that which I have failed to do over the years.
Meaning that you haven't completely given up on making things right.
Do you think me a fool stuck in the past?
Not at all. In fact, far from it. You sound like you're still holding out hope for a brighter future. Picture yourself being able to play your music again. Doesn't that motivate you to keep going even when things get tough?
I see what you mean. I didn't realize that drive still lingered within me. The darkness in one's heart is sure to manifest in their music. However, I promise you that one day, when that darkness has finally lifted, I shall let you hear me perform.
Well, now that you've said it, you're gonna have to follow through. I look forward to hearing you play.
We'd best get ready for tomorrow.
I wonder what we can make with this.
If you can't decide, I'll have it raw.
Hey, wait! Don't eat that!
We finally made it.
I guess this is the flip side of that pathway we were walking on just a little while ago.
This is crazy. Who knew such amazing technology existed?
Everything's topsy-turvy.
Let's dispose of the trash.
Where are you going? This is gonna need all help together! Laser spear! Here's the Returner!
Exploit the enemy's
Green
weakness.
laser!
Arts being interrupted.
I'm going to use all the power of my healing arts to accomplish this. I call upon thee!
Leave the chargers to me.
A charge like that could easily be fatal.
Just as well, I'm here to stop
In
it.
the wind! Air thrust! Between heaven and earth!
Begin!
A wailing fancy of lightning!
You!
The fluidity of your move is simply incredible.
This is Green laser! Up laser!
Carried away!
Hear me! Here I come! It's weakened!
This ends now!
Here's a healing arc! Lightning horn! Up and at 'em!
Coming through! Ha! Melt! Scarlet Inferno!
I'm going to need to use all the power of my healing
carve
arts to
through
accomplish this.
Swallow!
New strategy?
If it's in the sky, it's in the bag.
Eternal devastation!
It was nice.
Eternal devastation!
Glacial spear.
You hear it now! Take that! These fists have got your name on them!
Here's a
Sword
healing
Rain
arc!
Alpha!
Energy!
You picked the wrong fight! Sword Rain Alpha!
Here I go!
Blending Flash! Here I come! Eternal
There you go!
devastation!
Don't let up!
Incineration! I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw! I'm on it!
Here's
You're
a healing arc!
mine!
I never miss!
I'm just armor won't save you!
Celestial hammer!
Far enough!
I won't!
Here,
Let me
take
help!
this! All this now I can let loose! I'm on it!
I'm all stuffed up!
Eternal devastation! Incineration wave! Sword Rain Alpha! Try this!
Glacial spear! Here's
You
mine!
got it!
Got it!
Blending Flash! Sword
Now
Rain
that
Alpha!
chance.
The flame inside me
now I'm
yearns
real
to be
mad.
let free! Burn! Inspiration! I can do this all day! Sword Rain Alpha! Look sharp! Lightning Tiger Blade! There's always room for improvement. What are those? They look like Shion's thorns, and with flowers, too.
Not real ones, though. They're just like that flower growing out of Rena.
We must be getting close to the Great Spirit now.
Hey, Rinwell, what was that thing you said about how a little bit of Dana's Great Spirit is inside all of us?
Right. That's why Dana's Great Spirit is so much more diluted. Weak, even. Whether it was a choice so it didn't overpower others, or just the way it is anyone's guess.
If that's true, then wouldn't it mean Dana's will could never form under natural conditions?
Yeah, sounds like that's probably the case.
So if Dana exists within all of us, then what if something occurred that brought everyone's hearts and minds together as one? That unity could potentially act as Dana's will.
You mean if everybody was, like, thinking the exact same thing at the exact same time? Come on, there's no way we could pull that off.
I know it's a long shot, but it might work.
Let's assume that's even possible for a second. Would it even be enough to fight back against Rena's Great Spirit?
If nothing else, it might be an option if we can't use the Renasalma.
Things are different here than on the surface.
That shows how deeply we've ventured into Rena.
And how close we've come to the real enemy.
So here's a question. We came all this way to Rena on the assumption the Renasalma's here, right?
Just don't say it, Law.
Yeah, but I'm just saying...
I said don't.
I can understand why you might be concerned, Law. But you need to remember that there are people it affects more directly than you.
Oh, sorry.
We've managed to make it this far believing. Losing faith now won't do us any good. We're better off focusing our anxiety elsewhere.
Such as?
The Great Spirit. If Hevrecht 35's to be believed, our enemy won't just be handing over the Renas Alma to us. At least, not without a fight.
Not only that, but that same enemy just gulped down more than an entire world's worth of astral energy.
Point taken. It may be strange to say, but when I'm fighting, or at least know what needs to be done, it helps me a lot. I don't doubt myself as much. So thanks, both of you. The floor's on the ceiling and the ceiling's on the floor. This whole thing's making my head spin. Why would they even do something like this?
The Helganquil can bend life forms to suit their will. Nothing they could do at this point would surprise me.
The ceiling is on the floor. That doesn't weird you out?
What good is a team made up of members who all share the same opinions on everything? And besides, when you get to be at my ripe old age, one begins to consider it quite uncouth to show one's true emotions at times.
Oh, come on, Grandpa. You can't be that old.
The sands of time wait for none of us, lad.
Yeah, we'll see. Though at this rate, I guess I'll have to live long enough to get as old as you first, huh?
You will. And when the time comes, I look forward to hearing you change your tune on the matter. Discourteous, aren't you?
Be
careful, everyone. This one isn't normal.
Pesky airborne scoundrel!
Sounds like a job for yours truly.
Can't get out of this!
Outstanding form.
Hit with something!
So even a master has his limits.
Not feeling so great.
Hey, drinking orb, Illume.
Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno!
This one's mine.
Now you see what I can do! Heal!
Where are you going?
Burn!
Raging
My turn!
Here's a healing heart.
Stay calm. I shall provide assistance.
Incineration Wave!
On your...
You're finished!
Yours are not the skills of just any warrior.
Save your compliments. We have to move.
Driven in, pal.
Now! Frozen hammer! Am I on a roll or what?
Well, look who's in a bright and shiny mood.
Looks like some solid equipment.
Gotta break
Here,
through!
let me help. The flame
Crush!
Elusive deity. Get out of there. Corruption. Magic is
Take this!
I can shatter any steel! Begin! Anything in armor is all mine!
Pesky airborne scoundrel!
Sounds like a job for yours truly.
More Sukos?
Keep calm and take them down. I never miss.
Now I can let loose. This one's all mine!
Raging cascade.
Incineration!
Allow me to help you.
Field.
Dragon
Lords
Swarm!
of the stockpile. Radiant
Try harder!
We need to use all the
You're
power
mine!
Holy land.
Burn in hell!
A chain between heaven
Here I
and
come!
earth.
I'm nearly done for.
A wailing war incoming.
Sword Rain Alpha!
Glacial spear. Pierce
Eternal
through
devastation.
and air freeze
Sword Rain
between
Alpha!
heaven and earth. Blast.
Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno! More?
Here goes! Now, Zoe! This one's got your name on it!
Ashes to ashes. A merry destruction.
There's still more to go. A whirling struggle.
An astral arch?
That's my cue.
Incineration Wave! Shut him down!
Now, this one's got your name on it!
Ashes to ashes.
A whirling struggle.
Mirage!
Winds of heaven. Here's evil.
Here I come! Not today!
Blazer.
You're
Cyclone.
mine!
Dance in the wind. Air thrust. That'll bring you down.
it.
Not much longer to go.
Come on, one final push.
Let's do this together. Astral energy. Full throttle. That'll bring you down.
And more of this and I'll burn out.
Now!
Totally! In an instant! Impact Clock! Now! Take this!
No time
You're
for
on!
wasting
You're mine! Ice Spear! Sword Rain Alpha!
Pierce reinforcement! A wailing Chelsea of lightning!
Burn in hell! Here I come!
Here's a healing arm! Photon blast!
Sword Rain Alpha!
Rending you apart!
Sword Rain Alpha!
Bloody howling!
Eternal Devastation!
This one's mine!
Incineration Wave!
Sleep now. Here's a healing
Sword
arm!
Rain Alpha!
Benediction light.
Struck!
Glacial spear! Pierce evil!
Take this!
Savior! Freeze blade!
Looking good! There's more? Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno! More? Eternal Devastation! You're mine!
You apart!
Sword Rain Alpha!
Shining Inferno!
Take this! It's on!
Water spear! Pierce laser! Dance in the wind! Air thrust!
Try this! Explosive Ring!
Resurrect!
Here I come!
Just what I need!
You're finished!
Raging cascade!
You're mine! Crush!
A whirling
Crush!
struggle! Glacial
Sword Rain
spear!
Alpha!
Heaven's first force! Cyclone! Magic attack! Air thrust! Do it!
Not a chance! More?
Pile driver!
Next! My turn!
Radiant
I'm not
power
done!
beyond searing flame! I'm all on thee!
Take this! Eternal Devastation!
Seismic rupture!
There!
Try this!
Mega red!
Blended Blast!
Gemini Alpha! A wailing
Vacuum Blade!
Mega red!
Dragon Form!
This will come in handy. A whirling struggle!
I'll face you!
Winds of heaven!
Can't get out of this!
Feel!
Now you see what I can do!
Get on in there with the
This one's all mine!
The glacial spear! Do it!
Everlasting dawn.
Sion! Astral energy! Full throttle!
More nice sin! They smite with blackened blade!
Crush!
Glacial spear! Here's evil! Freeze lancer!
Sword Rain Alpha! Now!
Bloody
Here's a healing arm!
Okay, here are negative gates!
Blended Flash!
I'm ready! All yours, Kisara!
Raging cascade! One more!
Easter!
I can do it all day!
Strike!
Now we're not...
Eternal
Do it!
Devastation! Live up!
Astral energy!
Say no more!
Am I on a roll or what?
Well, look who's in a bright and shiny mood.
I found some equipment.
Let me take a look at it.
The Zoogles here are putting up a real fight.
That just goes to show how important this place is.
Or perhaps they simply thrived freely here under such harsh conditions.
I don't give a damn why they're here. We'll burn it all to the ground.
The astral energy here is so dense. It's like trying to walk through water.
I know the Great Spirit's will is in the center of Rena, but with the world in this state, the entire planet has become its body, right? So doesn't that mean we're already inside it?
I would say that is horrifyingly correct. After all, the further we climb, the denser the astral energy becomes.
What's the matter, Rinwell? Are you not feeling all right?
No, it's nothing like that. It just feels like the energy here is a little more intense than it was before.
You mean Rena's energy?
Yeah. It's like when I made contact with Dana's will in the wedge. It's almost as though I can understand what Rena's will is thinking.
But Rena's will is supposed to be a lot stronger. Aren't we risking the Great Spirit controlling us if we interact with it directly?
I don't think we have to worry about that. Rena's will is only supposed to control true Renans, like the Helganquil. If we can discern what the Great Spirit is thinking too, we might learn something, a weakness. But just to be safe, let me contact it alone.
Are you insane? Rinwell, you're gonna...
Linwell!
There was only meant to be one world. And your goal is to make them one. Is this fear? What just happened?
Are you all right? Rinwell? Rinwell, are you okay?
No, I'm fine. I think.
What were you thinking? You could have gotten yourself killed!
He's right. You had us all terrified, Rinwell.
I'm sorry. I really, really am. But I know now. I know how the Great Spirit thinks. I know what it wants, how it feels. Rena's Great Spirit wants to complete the world.
What's that supposed to mean? Are you saying it's trying to make something?
Yes, exactly. Originally, Dana and Rena were meant to be one world. But that never happened. They've stayed separated, and the Great Spirit wants to finish the process.
What do you mean, one world? How is that even possible?
I don't know, but its will is clear. That's what the Great Spirit is trying to accomplish. The only problem is that since Rena's energy isn't evenly spread like Dana's, it seems like it'll vanish before that happens naturally.
So it's trying to absorb Dana while it still can, so that it can force the two planets to unite. Is that what you're saying?
The Great Spirit is scared. But it's not scared the way a rational person would be. It's more raw and undiluted, like just pure fear.
Like an animal, acting out of instinct. Although, admittedly, an animal would be easier to communicate with. At the very least, I have my doubts that it recognizes us as sentient beings with a reason for coming here. Earth, water, fire, and wind energy exist in both worlds, but only darkness and light can be found within Rena and Dana, respectively. The Renis Alma, as far as we know, the only host capable of harvesting the astral energy, is composed of all six. Knowing all that, Rinwell's findings do sound plausible.
That sounds a lot like Shion's thorns, doesn't it? The whole reason the Great Spirit is trying to unite Dana and Rena into one world is in order to save itself. And if her thorns are part of the Great Spirit, then they must also... be trying to save themselves?
Alphen, what is it?
We thought the only way to free your thorns was for you to die. Yet despite that, they seem to be doing everything in their power to stop that from happening to you. Something wasn't adding up. But then I just realized something. If the Great Spirit doesn't want to die, then neither would your thorns. Those same emotions, that fear, that determination, and its energy must have been the same thing that was keeping you alive. You were its vessel.
In that case, is that why her thorns caused so much pain to anyone who touched her? Because they were trying to protect themselves?
If that's all true, then... well, it's more than a little ironic.
The Great Spirit merely expresses its desires. I imagine it was the Helganquil who were likely tasked with putting together and implementing an actual plan.
Xion... I'm okay. We need to hurry and clean this mess up before it gets out of hand.
Still, even if the current state of the world is wrong like you said, does that really make everything okay?
If the world had been whole from the start, as it should have been, there'd be no Dana and no Rena, no masters or slaves, no lords, no crown contest, maybe just peace.
To think, all this started because of the Great Spirit's desire to keep living. The only reason it craves energy is because it's dying from starvation. When you think about it like that, maybe the things it's done aren't so strange after all.
If Rena had been more like Dana, things would have worked out a whole lot better.
It's like Hevrecht 35 told us. The Danon and Renan spirits are meant to be completely different beings.
Rena's energy amassing in one place led to its developing a powerful will. But that also made it crave energy, sapping Rena dry until it perished.
Whereas Dana's energy is dispersed, meaning its will never developed to the same extent. And without that hunger, Dana the planet was spared.
As for which is correct, well, I'm not sure it's our place to even say. Still, I can't help but think it reminds me a lot of the dichotomy of the human condition.
Dichotomy? What do you mean?
Those who know not satisfaction are driven to keep devouring without limit. But those who are content with their lot in life rarely fulfill their potential. I imagine it's likely that the larger Rena's Great Spirit grew, the more and more powerful its hunger also became.
Everything in moderation. When all's said and done, maybe that's the hardest thing for people to learn.
Another incantation ruined.
Where are you going?
They've got me surrounded.
Take this!
Here's a healing arc. Sleep now. Sword Alpha. Magna, it looks like you got this one covered. Do it!
In an instant! Impact block!
We work well together.
Like a finely timed waltz.
Here I come! Eternal devastation!
Without a trace! A wailing beast
Eternal devastation! Sword Alpha! Dragon's Roar! Vacuum Blade!
Do it!
Light burst forth!
Radiant Genesis!
Trapped in darkness, pierced by light.
I call it the Rindo Special.
see what you've got.
Stars of light, rain down and purify.
Ignite!
I'll shoot them out of the sky. Meteor sword.
The fluidity of
Go
your
for the
music
weak point. Winds are coming. Here's the healing art.
Take this!
First
Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno! Vacuum blades!
lunar
Eternal
corruption.
devastation!
Eating pile I never miss. Illuminate the blah blah blah.
Incineration wave! Here I come!
Eagle ray. Healing circle. Wailing Dancy of lightning.
Try this!
Sorry to trouble you.
It's weakened.
This ends now!
Rain down and purify all.
Try this! Explosive ring!
Meteor
Try
sword.
harder!
Spread.
It's on!
I'll heal you all.
Try harder! Burn it down!
Dancy of lightning.
You're mine! Okay, here I go. I don't know what I do. Eternal devastation!
Thrilling performance.
Splendid flash! Prepare to be sealed! Eternal devastation!
Ready and ready! Can't get out of this! I'll smash you!
If it's in the sky, it's mine.
Incineration wave!
Got it.
Soaring blast!
Now's our chance.
Eat dirt!
Hold on to your art.
Kitara! Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclone.
Quite necessary when creating weaponry.
Wherever we go on this planet, there are machines littered everywhere.
It's impressive to look at as a bystander, but I sure wouldn't want to live here with all of this around.
I know what you mean. There are no fish here. I couldn't cook any of my delicious dinner.
Gotta break
Here's
through!
the healing art. First aid.
Now
I never miss.
Crush!
Dance in the wind.
Demon Land!
Incineration wave!
Mega ray.
It can hide itself? Amazing!
Forth. Freeze
Take this!
laser.
Eternal devastation! Sword Ray Alpha!
Here.
Will this help? Shattering the pieces! Attack time!
Incineration
No
wave!
further!
Need to pull myself together.
Eternal devastation! No
It
escape!
looks like you got this on here or call.
The whirling side is yours to be let free!
Winds of heaven.
No escape!
Glacial spear. Here's evil.
Not today!
Freeze laser.
Crush!
Resonate with the
Incineration wave! No escape!
Healing circle.
Here I come!
Prepare to be seen!
Sword Ray Alpha!
Be careful not to overdo it.
I'm sorry. I'll do better.
Can't get out of
Stars
this!
of light. Rain down and purify all. Searing flame.
Sword Ray Alpha!
Demon Land! Take this! Eagle Ray!
I'm not done!
Meteor sword.
Eternal devastation! You're finished!
Outstanding form.
Now you see what I can do!
Eternal devastation! Hold nothing back!
Shot!
Where you go?
You're mine! Vacuum blade!
I'll stop it!
Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno!
Lunar corruption.
Ready to go!
Blown flight.
Incineration wave! Not today!
Fluidity of your music.
Quit cooking yourself and get behind us!
I'll be right as rain in no time.
Incineration wave! Sword Rain Alpha!
Sorry to trouble you. Raging cascade.
Double demon bang!
Denied!
Now.
Kisara! All yours, Kisara! Step back! This one's all law!
How long has it been since I last went this hungry? Discourteous, aren't you?
Allow me to help you. Rain down and purify all!
Take this! Elusive deity! Crush! Stop!
Devastate body slam us into next week! Annihilation!
In a mind?
Double
Here's a
demon
healing
fang!
art! First aid! All disasters made one! Come forth the helix of purity! Maelstrom! All disasters made one! Come forth the helix of purity! Maelstrom! Oh, sparkling stars of light! Rain down and purify all!
Not today!
Leave the chargers to me!
I have no
Magic
limits!
advance! Graviton
Lightning
field!
Wyvern!
That'll bring you down! Meteor storm! You get the gist! Air thrust! Blah, Air thrust! You get the gist! Air thrust!
Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno!
Benediction.
Oh, sparkling stars of light! Rain down and
Carve through walls! Demon Fang! Double Demon Fang! Demon Fang!
Meteor storm!
No further!
I'll heal you
This
all!
one's mine!
All disasters made one! Come forth the helix of purity!
I'm grateful. I don't know what I can
All disasters made one! Come forth the helix of purity!
I really don't.
Oh, sparkling stars of light! Rain magic! Oh, sparkling stars! You get the gist! Meteor storm! Oh, sparkling! Meteor storm! Mega ray! Annihilation!
From beyond,
You get the gist! Air thrust! Without a trace!
resuscitation. It's in your hands now.
No more playing
One
nice!
keeps charging us!
That's what my shield's for. Get behind me.
Got it! I'll leave it to you!
Here's a healing art!
Rising Wyvern!
This one's mine! All disasters made one! Come forth the helix of purity! I'll heal you all! Maelstrom! Dance in the wind! Air thrust! Magic is there! Air thrust! Oh, deny!
I could do this all day. I'm on it. I really
I'll bring you sparkling stars of light! Rain blah blah blah! Meteor storm! Here's a healing art! First aid! The enemy is going all out! By the power of water! Lightning! Dance in the wind! I'm out of ammo! Air thrust! Dance in the wind! Air thrust! Annihilation! Air thrust! You get the gist! Air thrust!
Anything in armor is all mine.
Demon Fang!
Sparkling stars of light! Rain down and purify all! Meteor storm!
Demon Fang!
Dance in the wind! Air thrust! Magic is there! Air thrust!
Nothing gets by me. Far enough.
You get it! Go for it!
Prepare to crumble. Here, let me help.
I'll finish you here! First aid!
Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno!
Here's a healing stars of light! Rain down and purify all!
It's all mine.
Explosive ring!
By the close one! Vanish without a trace! Where are you going? Dance in the wind! Air thrust! Dance in the wind!
Won't save you.
Air thrust! Blah blah blah! Air thrust! Blah blah blah! Air thrust! You get the gist! Air thrust! Blah blah blah! Air thrust! Blah blah blah! Air thrust! You get the gist! Air thrust! You get the gist!
See what happened there as you crossed me. Should
Air
have done that.
thrust! Ready to go! You get the gist! Air thrust! Blah blah blah! Maelstrom! Blah blah blah! Meteor storm!
I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw!
Dance in the wind! Air thrust! I can't hold on much longer! Do it! To stop you dying? Kisara, frozen!
Hammer.
I know fine weapon material when I see it.
Let's see what you've got.
Illuminate the dark!
Take
Cut
this!
forth holy healing circle!
It's in your hands now.
Stay away from my friend!
Now I can let
A
loose.
wailing blade of lightning!
This one's all mine!
Pierce evil!
Sword Alpha! Try this!
Winds of
Splendid
heaven!
blast!
Bring you back from death's abyss!
Come and face me!
Get on in there with the
Burn!
Will this help?
No rest for the wicked.
Heal for
take it?
healing circle!
Now you see what I can do. Now I can let
Take
loose.
crazy orb!
You're mine!
Beyond the dark age! Seven Alpha! Haunting!
Incineration Wave!
By the power of flame!
Sword Alpha!
Here's the healing arc!
I'll finish you
Here
here
it
and now.
is!
This
I
one's
never
all mine!
miss! Air thrust! A whirling blue eruption! Wind of heaven! Burst forth!
Crumble! Not today! Crush!
I can't imagine what we do without you, Unwell. Who?
Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno!
Watch this! Now! Get toasty!
Burn strike!
Right, next
Take
one!
this.
Already on!
I owe you one.
Kisara, I'll stop your movement.
And I'll stop your life.
Am I on a roll or what?
Well, look who's in a bright and shiny mood.
Let's
Here's
see
the
what
healing
you've got.
arc!
Eternal devastation! Try harder!
Take this.
Not a chance!
Flame of fury!
It's time!
Glacier, careful! Here's the head of camouflage!
Ignite!
Here's the healing arc! First aid!
Crush!
Elusive deed.
Incineration Wave!
Raging
Roaring
storm!
blast!
Celestial!
Bad, right?
Yes, Alvin! Very bad!
I don't feel so good.
Photon burst!
Dragon Swarm!
Healing circle!
Explosive ring!
Hydration orb!
Thanks.
Lightning blast!
Be careful not to overdo it.
I'm sorry. Do better.
A wailing banshee of
Eternal
lightning!
devastation!
Divine savior! Healing circle!
I'm in your debt.
By the
Take
power
this!
Wow! Hear my call!
Can't get out of this.
Lightning orb! Raging
This one's all
cascade!
mine!
Power spear! Here's evil!
Burn in hell! Eternal devastation! Incineration Wave!
Lightning lightning!
A tempest in
Liberate!
Penumbra!
It's time to finish this! Die! Consuming wildfire! Here's a healing arc!
Eternal devastation!
Try
harder!
I'll stop its charge.
Thanks, Kisara!
Ah!
Explosion!
Try harder! Now!
Gale force!
Crush!
Burning!
Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno!
This has a most peculiar
I'll heal
taste.
you all!
Eternal...
Ready and rarely. Resonate with the earth.
Healing circle!
No further. You'll pay for that!
Freeze Lancer!
Ah! Ignite!
Annihilation!
An astral art?
That's my cue!
Eternal devastation! Shut him down! Sword Rain Alpha!
Sleep now! I'll be saving
I can't heal you forever. Nothing can try me.
Pride was my downfall.
Now I can let
That'll
loose!
bring you down. Power up.
Not in your dreams!
Take this.
Wind after
Eagle
wind!
Ray.
Here.
Ice!
Megasonic Thrust!
Thrilling performance.
Try hard! Now! Look sharp! Lightning Tiger Blade!
Hold up. Is this as valuable as I think it is? So those thorns of Shion's, they're really a part of Rena's great spirit?
Most likely, but only a small fragment of it in the big picture. I don't sense a will of its own emanating from them.
If it's that insignificant, is there that much point getting rid of it?